Hi Internet, this is Christina, the Amputee OT. This video is about how I participate in activities at a local trampoline park. My son is almost 4 and he loves to do various activities, including going to one of the local trampoline parks. A trampoline park, if you don't know, is an indoor space usually that has a bunch of trampolines and ball pits and Ninja Warrior courses and places where you can basically run around and just have fun being active in an indoor space. But a trampoline, as you might have imagined, is not really very accessible to people with disabilities, although the indoor trampoline parks are about as accessible as one can imagine they could be. Typically, I don't bring my leg to a trampoline park because if I brought my leg to a trampoline park and I wanted to go from one area to another area, I would have to take my leg off and then put it back on a bunch of times, which is really just kind of a pain, so I don't. I don't bring my leg on trampolines because it doesn't bend like a regular leg and absorb the impact of jumping on the trampoline, and so it's much easier just to jump on a trampoline or go in a ball pit without my leg, which kind of just weighs me down. You can imagine jumping from deck to deck on these Ninja Warrior course type things would be really difficult if I had an extra 10-pound leg that didn't behave the way I wanted it to attached to me. But I can bring my wheelchair on the trampolines, which probably is against the rules, but it's really fun, so nobody stopped me, so I did it anyway. Although at first I did not want to get on the trampoline with my wheelchair. I guess I was being a little bit shy, and my son absolutely threw the biggest crying fit because he really wanted me to bring my wheelchair on the trampoline, and I wasn't ready or willing to do it at first. And he was sad and crying and stuff like that. But I eventually just decided to do it anyway, and nobody stopped me, so yeah. One thing I found very interesting is that children kept coming up to me and asking me, "What happened to your leg?" And my response was just to say, "I left it at home." And some kids looked at me like they were very confused by this, and other kids were like, "Oh, okay," and just walked off. They seemed to accept that I just straight up left my leg at home. And while we're on the subject of going to a trampoline park with your child, I want to touch on parenting as a person with a disability. So I feel like sometimes people look at me and they see a mom with a disability and they feel sorry for my child because I will not be able to participate in all of the same activities with my child that an able-bodied parent would be able to participate in. So, for example, I can't race my child and run with him because I can't run very fast. He wants to race me all the time, and he always wins when I'm using my prosthetic leg because I am not very fast with my prosthetic leg. However, I can race him and win, by the way, I might add, when I'm in my wheelchair, or give him rides in my wheelchair. So even though his experience might not be the same as the experience of a child who has parents who don't have a disability, I don't feel like his experience is in any way negatively impacted by me having a disability. In fact, he probably has a unique and valuable perspective as an able-bodied child who has parents who are disabled. Like, for example, when he saw this mat right here, he said, "Look, Mommy, it's a parking spot." And since his dad is fully deaf and uses only ASL to communicate, and his mom is late deaf and uses both English spoken and ASL to communicate, he's one of the lucky kids who gets to learn 2 languages at a really young age. Alright, so that is how I get around at a trampoline park. Ditch the leg, bring the chair, and crawl around. Happy jumping! Bye! See you later!